Yeah. Not the kind of flip-flops I want to see. Those belong in Hawaii. I'm not here for it. But yes, this has been an extremely difficult storm. And boy, as meteorologists, I think a lot of us feel almost a little bit rusty at this point because we've seen this storm go back and forth between some very robust amounts to, okay, we're New Englanders, we can handle this. And now all of a sudden, with that snow coming down at a heavy clip in many places, it's really starting to pile up. And thus we've had to force our numbers back up a little bit. But here's the thing. The snow is not going to last all day. You can actually see the edge of that right near Salisbury up in Litchfield County. So it's basically right at the intersection of Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York. So it is going to be swinging through from the west to the east, and that'll be over the next couple of hours. So we should start to see this tapering off in some places as early as noon. It's going to start to taper off in Litchfield County first, which is where we did anticipate the lower amounts. So as far as where the highest totals were going to be, we're still on track for that. But you can see this kind of stripe of darker blue lighting up Fairfield County right into parts of New Haven County, in fact, right along the I-84 corridor there. So that's where it's really coming down. And of course, as you know, I-84 is very tricky. It's very narrow at places. It's very windy at other places. So that's a tough road to travel on a day like this. But you can see from Wilton to Ridgefield to Easton, stretching up through Danbury, Newtown, Oxford, Waterbury, it is really coming down. And it also is out towards New Britain, Hartford, Vernon, Coventry, Manchester, Stafford, Mansfield, and even down towards Middletown and Meriden. Here's the thing, if you live in central Connecticut in places like Cheshire, Wallingford, even Meriden, there are places that sit at a slightly higher elevation. So say, for example, you're in Cheshire, your totals may be slightly higher than, say, down towards Wallingford or North Haven, even though you guys are super close together. So this is how it's really coming together at this point. The majority of the state is going to fall between 7 inches to 11 inches. So yeah, not too far from our original map at this time yesterday where we were calling for 8 to 12, but one of the numbers that came down was certainly up in Litchfield County because of just the way the storm came up from the south and the way it was going to pivot and kind of end in Litchfield County first. So for the northern half of Litchfield County, even into the far northern half of Hartford County, we're looking at about 4 to 7 inches. So, of course, we would still love to hear from you. If you get out there today, let us know how much snow has fallen in your yard. Best way to actually take those measurements, if you have a patio table or if you have a flat sidewalk area, that's where you want to stick it in. You don't want to necessarily stick it in the grass because it can push down a little bit and make it look like it's actually higher than it really is. So try and use a hard, flat surface. Now here's a look in New London where temperatures are right around 34 degrees. And yes, you can of course see the snowflakes that are clogging up our camera there. Of course, New London, one of the places we were expecting the highest totals. So New London, Stonington, Groton, you guys are going to be the last ones to actually see the snow taper off. It is 32 degrees in Enfield, 32 in Derby, 32 degrees in Brantford, 34 in Norwich. Those winds are diving out of the northeast. That's the thing. In addition to the snow that's coming down, it's a bit windy. You can see it ranges anywhere between 9 to about 20 miles per hour. I checked the gusts. The gusts are upwards of 20 to 25 in a few places, but this is heavy, wet snow, so it's not going to blow it around the same way it would if it was, you know, the higher fluff factor. So look at these temperatures, mid-30s as we head into this afternoon. Of course, that's what's making for this heavy, wet, slushy snow is the fact that these temperatures are a little above freezing, or eventually will be a little bit above freezing. So steady snow for now. It is going to start to taper around midday. Again, some places, especially up in Litchfield County, you're going to start to see this really taper off by noon. For the rest of us, you know, 1, 2, I would say by 3 o'clock, majority of us are not going to see any more snowflakes flying. It's still going to stay a little bit windy out there. But then tonight, what we have to worry about as temperatures really start to tumble back into the teens, all of this slush and snow that is still on the roads, that is going to freeze. So we really could be running into some issues as you head out the door tomorrow morning.